To understand why you can't trust your eyes, we have to look at the biological lag of the human hardware. Information takes time to travel from your sensors to your processing centers. By the time your brain has integrated the light from this video and the sound of this sentence, the present has already moved on. To compensate for this 80 millisecond delay, your brain has evolved to become a prediction engine. It doesn't wait for the world to happen, it guesses what is about to happen based on a user manual of past experiences. When you walk into a room, your brain doesn't actually see every chair, every shadow, or every speck of dust. It renders a standard room template from memory and only alerts you if something is drastically out of place. This is why you can lose your keys when they are sitting right in front of you. Your brain's update decided they weren't supposed to be there, so it simply edited them out of your conscious reality. In early 2026, researchers identified a specific neural pathway in the thalamus that acts as the editor-in-chief of your reality. This pathway is responsible for error suppression. Its job is to ignore the noise of the universe, the trillions of bits of data that are irrelevant to your survival. But the 2026 discovery found a rare gene mutation that causes this editor to glitch. For individuals with this mutation, the brain fails to suppress the anomalies. They don't just see the standard reality, they see the flickering shadows, the geometric patterns in the air, and the microscopic fluctuations of light that the rest of us are programmed to ignore. This brings us to a haunting what if. What if the people we label as having disorders are actually seeing the raw data of the universe? What if our consensus reality is actually a form of biological censorship designed to keep us from seeing a world that is far too complex, and perhaps too terrifying, for the human mind to handle? The psychology of the reality glitch suggests that our sanity is dependent on our ability to ignore the truth. There is a phenomenon known as derealization, where the brain's prediction engine suddenly stops syncing with the environment. Victims describe it as the veil dropping. The world suddenly looks like a stage set, the colors feel wrong, and the people around them feel like hollow shells. In the professional world of historical psychology, we are beginning to realize that our ancestors may have lived in a state of high-fidelity reality that we have since evolved away from. As we surround ourselves with digital screens and AI-curated environments in 2026, we are adding a second layer of update to our lives. We are moving further away from the root reality, living in a simulation of a simulation. If our brains are already 80 milliseconds behind, and our digital lives are another 50 milliseconds behind, we are drifting into a psychological void where the truth can no longer reach us. This leads us to the astronaut's dilemma currently facing the Artemis 2 crew as they loop around the moon this week. In the absolute vacuum of space, away from the familiar sensory anchors of Earth, the brain's prediction engine begins to fail. Deprived of the update data it has relied on for millions of years, the mind starts to fill in the blanks with hallucinations. This is the ghost effect, the feeling of being watched in a dead vacuum. It isn't a supernatural event, it is a system error. When the brain can't find reality, it invents one. This suggests that reality is not something that exists outside of us, it is a fragile, rhythmic agreement between our neurons. If that rhythm breaks, the world as we know it simply vanishes, replaced by the primal chaos that has been hiding behind the update all along. The what if for the future of 2026 is staggering. As we develop Neuralink style interfaces and mixed reality glasses, we are giving external machines the power to write our reality update for us. We are handing over the keys to our editor-in-chief. If a corporation or a government can control the 80 millisecond window of your perception, they can make you see or forget anything they choose. We are approaching the era of programmable consciousness, where the glitch isn't an accident, it's a feature. This channel is dedicated to exploring these invisible architectures of the mind, tracking the moments where the user manual for being human is being rewritten by high-stakes science and ancient mysteries. We are digging into the dark data of the human experience to find the truth that our brains are programmed to hide. If you want to understand the silent mutation of our perception and see the 2026 data that is challenging the very definition of real, you need to follow this investigation. We are at a tipping point where technology and biology are colliding to create a new kind of human, one that may never see the raw world again. Subscribe and join our community of storytellers and skeptics as we analyze the glitches in the system. Because in a world where you can't trust your own eyes, the only thing you can rely on is the data that doesn't fit the story. The update is running, the editor is watching, and the only way out of the simulation is to find the glitch.